Okay, guys, welcome back to part number 2 of the Room Tour Collection video, where we're gonna be showcasing every Spider-Man thing that I have with actual description. I don't know how long I'm gonna be in here, but I'm gonna be here until we get the job done. So without further ado, let's start. First, we'll take a look at all the movies that I have. So beginning it with, I have the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man 1. I love this film to death, and it's easily still my favorite Spider-Man movie, and this movie is the one that made me fall in love with the character. Spider-Man 1 is gold in my book, and to this day, it will always have a special place in my heart, and I love this film to death. Then I get to Spider-Man 2. Now, Spider-Man 2 is easily my second favorite Spider-Man film. I like Spider-Man 1 a little bit better, but Spider-Man 2 is just as good. It's close to as perfect as a superhero movie can be. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 are both excellent in my opinion. Then we get to Spider Man 3. Now, when the black suit was announced, I was beyond excited. And for what the movie had, I think that it was just trying to juggle way, there was just way too much going on, everything. And yeah, Spider Man 3 was a mess. I didn't love it, but I still liked it. It's okay. Then I get to The Amazing Spider Man. Now, The Amazing Spider Man was, I have non-opinions and opinions about this film, if that makes sense. Like, it's the same origin story. It just does whatever was different from the Raimi films, and I think for what they were doing, it worked well enough for what it had. It's not a great Spider-Man, but in my opinion, it's still a decent Spider-Man. Then we get to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, this movie was a complete mess, but still, the reason I personally really enjoy The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 is because the message they give out through of Spider-Man standing for hope is a beautiful message to send out there. So I think that the movie was a mess, but the message was beautiful. And the death of Gwen Stacy made me cry. And then I have Spider-Man: Homecoming. Now, Spider-Man: Homecoming was Spider-Man's first time in the MCU, and I think they did a beautiful job with this movie. They hit it out of the park. Tom Holland captures what makes Peter Parker and his costume alter ego such a lovable and great character, and this movie is a perfect interpretation of the character. Then we get to Tom Hardy's standalone Venom film. Now, Venom is of course my favorite Spider-Man villain, and when he got his own movie, I was down for it. And I think for what it did, it was pure entertainment. I loved it. The Venom movies are just entertainment, bro. They're just entertaining from start to finish. Then I get to my favorite animated movie, my fourth favorite Spider-Man film, Into the Spider-Verse. The most beautiful animated movie I've ever seen. Animation style is stunning, action scenes are thrilling, and this movie just hit it out of the water and blew my freaking mind. Then we get to my least favorite Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, I think that Spider-Man Far From Home is my least favorite Spider-Man film. I don't think it's the worst Spider-Man film, but for me personally, this is easily my least favorite Spider-Man film. I would honestly rather watch Amazing Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3 over this movie any day. It's not a bad film, it's just not that much fun. Then I get to Venom: Let There Be Carnage. And like I said, first movie was great. Venom 2, seeing Carnage and Venom tangle at that last fight, gold, my brother, gold. They wasted Carnage, but it was a great fight. Then I get to Spider-Man No Way Home. What do you get? When you take three versions of Spidey and bring them together on the big screen, you get this freaking masterpiece. Guess it means something to me, man. Okay, let's keep moving. Now we have the next movie, Venom: The Last Dance. Now, Venom: The Last Dance was extremely emotional for me. I think this movie was very emotional. If this was Tom Hardy's last time as Venom, thank you, Tom, for being such a great version of this character. Then the last movie I have is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is art, in my opinion. Okay, that's it for the movies. Now let's move on to the next thing. Okay, guys, let's keep moving. Now, the next thing we'll take a look at are the Spider-Man cartoons. So let's do it. So beginning it with, I have the original classic Spider-Man 1967 cartoon. This is the Spider-Man that became a meme, but God, do I love this show. It is so funny to rewatch now. Its animation is hilariously clunky, and the bizarre situation Spider-Man was put into has created so many internet memes, which I'm sure if I send this video, I'll be absolutely thrilled with. You can't take it seriously. It's cons, but it's also their pros. Then I get to Spider-Man 1981, which is okay. It had great Spidey humor and great lessons for the younger audiences. Then we get to the Spider-Man that shaped an entire generation, Spider-Man 1994. I freaking love this cartoon. This was many fans, including myself, first real meeting with the character. This amazing show that aired 65 episodes was many fans' first real meeting with the character. And I think this show is still beautiful even today. It's nothing but charm by that entry in Spidey's cartoon catalog. Then we get to the most infamous Spider-Man cartoon, Spider-Man Unlimited. Now, when this show came out, a lot of people despised it because it just didn't work. But I think for what the show had, this very original take on Spider-Man trying to stop a symbiote invasion on another Earth, I think it was great. And the suit, oh, kick ass. Then I get to my favorite Spider-Man cartoon, the most underrated Spider-Man show ever, Spider-Man, the new animated series. This show, mwah, I love this show to death, and it's easily the most well-written and mature Spider-Man series I've ever watched. And because it had a much darker tone, that's why this is my personal favorite Spider-Man cartoon. Its animation was stunning, its storyline was dark and gripping, and it was like a Spider-Man we had never seen before. And that's what makes this show so spectacular. And I wish it got another season. I really wanted to see more. Then I get to the king of all Spider-Man shows, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Guys, please, it is easily my second favorite Spider-Man show. It is the king of all Spider-Man shows, guys. This show just hit out of the park, and this is how you do Spider-Man right. Why can't Marvel do this? Then we get to the most to a terrible Spider-Man cartoon, Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, when this show was announced, I was excited because the Ultimate Spider-Man comic is my favorite Spider-Man comic run. So I thought the show was going to be based off that comic, which it was, but its humor was so kid-friendly, and this show just this Ultimate Spider-Man is very difficult to defend, but I still enjoy it because it's still Spider-Man. Not as bad as this one I'm about to show you. Then we get to Marvel Spider-Man, the worst Spider-Man cartoon. You cannot stand out. I'm sorry. Go away. Then we get to Disney Plus's new Spider-Man show, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Now, this was the first good Spider-Man show after nearly 2 decades. And that was amazing. This was the first great Spider-Man show after nearly 2 decades, which is amazing. Okay, that's it for the cartoons. Let's keep moving on. Alright guys, we are back. Sorry about that one camera fall. My camera accidentally fell for a second, so please, I apologize for that. Anyway, now we're looking at all the other Spider-Man games that I have. We're gonna be looking at the ones for Sega, GBA, DS, PSP, and the console versions, of course. So without further ado, let's start. First, we'll take a look at all the Spider-Man games I have for Sega. I have Spider-Man for Sega. Now, the Sega games of Spider-Man haven't aged that well, but I still enjoy playing them. Their music is good, their graphics are funny, and their gameplay is pretty simplistic, but still very solid. Then, we have the next Spider-Man game, Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin, which is my second favorite Spider-Man game for Sega. Because now Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin's difficulty is absolutely insane. Oh my god, this might be the hardest Spider-Man game I have ever played. I don't even think it's possible to defeat Sandman without kicking the fire hydrant. Look it up, it's actually a thing. But still, it's one of my fondest memories of the wall crawler in video game form. Then I get to the next Spider-Man game for Sega, which is Spider-Man Return of the Sinister Six. Now yes, this is definitely a terrible game, but because LJN made it, but it's still Spider-Man, so gotta have it. I still enjoy it. There are parts I enjoy, but it's a terrible game. Okay, then we get to the next Spider-Man game for Sega, Spider-Man and the X-Men in Arcade's Revenge. Now, this game was pretty fun. It had some fun platforming sections, some good music, and Spider-Man X-Men teaming up. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, pretty cool. Then we get to the best Spider-Man game for Sega, which was the first truly great Spider-Man game, Maximum Carnage. Now, a storyline as awesome as Maximum Carnage deserves one great game, and this game gets the job done. And this is easily the best Spider-Man game for Sega. If this game was multiplayer, it might have even beat the next console version on my list of Spider-Man games. If it was multiplayer. The only thing that sucked the fact that it was only one player. But I am mind taking turns. They're one of the best Spider-Man brawlers ever made. Excuse me. Then I have the sequel, Venom / Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. Now, this is the hardest Spider-Man game ever made. If you thought any other the games were hard, wait till you play this beast. But I still enjoy it because it's still Spider-Man, so gotta have it. Okay, now let's take a look at all the Spider-Man games that I have for GBA. So let's do it. I have Spider-Man 2000 for GBA. It's colorful, it has amazing music, and I think it's a great game. Then I have Spider-Man 2 The Sinister Six for GBA, which is great, fun platforming, great graphics, simplistic gameplay, and pretty fun. Just it's nothing but charm by these entries in Spidey's video game catalog. Then we get to Spider-Man 2002 for GBA, which is a great game. Seriously, this game looks really good. Then we get hold on. Then we get to Spider-Man 2 for GBA, those pizza delivery missions. So nostalgia, bro. Then we get to Ultimate Spider-Man for GBA, which is great. I love this game. I love playing it every once in a while. It has great music, fun platforming, fun combat, and yeah, great game. Then I have Spider-Man Mysterio's Menace. The GBA games don't get a lot of love that much, but Mysterio's Menace deserves love. It's a great game. Then we get to the last Spider-Man game for GBA, Spider-Man 3. I actually think the GBA version of Spider-Man 3 might be my favorite GBA Spider-Man game. Ooh, shots fired. Okay, let's keep moving. Next, we have all the Spider-Man games that I have for DS. So let's take a look. I got Spider-Man 2 for DS. I love it. It's a great game. It has great gameplay. It has fun graphics. And yeah, for the first DS Spider-Man game, not bad. Then I get to Ultimate Spider-Man for DS. This might be my second favorite Spider-Man game for Nintendo DS. It's awesome. Then I get to Spider-Man Battle for New York for Nintendo DS. Now, I really enjoyed this game because a lot of people did not like this game because its combat and stuff just didn't work. But I think for what the game had, playing as Spidey and Green Goblin, it was awesome. And it had great voice acting too. Then we get to Spider-Man 3 for DS. It's the biggest piece of dog shit. Then we get to Spider-Man Friend or Foe for Nintendo DS, which is... You just can't stand out, can you? Nice, that was funny. Then I get to my favorite Spider-Man game for Nintendo DS, Web of Shadows. Now, what's bizarre about Web of Shadows is that it was released on both console and handheld with the exact same title and box art, but as 3 completely different games. But the DS version blew my mind, man. It's addictive. Combat is so addictive. Great combat. Then we get to hold on, these covers are so hard to pick up. Then I get to Spider-Man Shattered Dimension for DS. I love it. Saving all of reality as 3 Spideys. It's awesome with music. Love it. Then I get to Edge of Time for DS, which is, I mean, it's alright. Then the last one for DS is The Amazing Spider-Man, which is alright, I guess. Then the last one are the ones for the PSP. So let's take a look. I have Spider-Man 2 for PSP. I love it. It's very similar to Spider-Man 1 on PS2, and it's a great game. Then I get to Spider-Man 3 for PSP. I love it. This might be my third favorite. Then I get to the last 2 for PSP. I have Spider-Man Friend or Foe for PSP. Love it. And then my favorite, Web of Shadows, Amazing Allies Edition for PSP. Great. That's it for that. Now let's take a look at the console versions. I'll be back in a sec. Alright guys, now let's take a look at all the console games that I have. Let's do it. Okay, so I have Spider-Man 2 2000 for PlayStation 1. I love this game. It's a childhood favorite of mine, and to this day I will always enjoy it. And this is easily the first truly great Spider-Man game. Then I get the sequel, Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro, was freaking awesome. Then we get to this guy right here, Spider-Man the movie. Awesome game. Really effing hard when you get to the Oscorp levels, so those stealthy missions, they were Man, that was hard, but it was fun. Then I get to Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2. I love it. It's easily one of my favorite Spider-Man. This is easily one of my top 3 favorite Spider-Man games. The swinging, breathtaking. The combat, spectacular. The story, amazing. This game just nailed everything and hit the nail on the head harder than ever before. Then I get, oh, this game is special because I grew up with Ultimate Spider-Man. I love it. Ultimate Spider-Man is easily one of my favorite Spider-Man games and easily the best one out of the PS2 era. Playing as both Spider-Man and Venom gives the game awesome variety. Its colorful graphics, cel-shaded art style are beautiful, and the game is just honestly a beautiful experience to watch and play. Then I get to Spider-Man 3. We get to this atrocity. The PS2 version was an atrocity anyway. Atrocity was in its time. And then I got this. Spider-Man 3 for PS3. I got this game really, really late. In fact, I have yet to beat this in the black suit. I think I should probably beat it soon. But it's a great game. Spider-Man 3 is not bad, but it's not good either. Just okay. Then I get to Spider-Man Friend Foe, which is one of my favorite Spider-Man games. Again, because this is a multiplayer Spider-Man game. Going on a fun adventure, going to different places, hub areas, beating up phantoms, playing with your friend, fighting iconic Spider-Man bosses. Great game. A lot of people don't like this game, but I love this game. Then I get to my second favorite Spider-Man game, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Now, this game is easily one of my favorite Spider-Man games, and it's this dark, epic story with a symbiote invasion with awesome combat, fun swinging, and epic boss fights. Whew, kick-ass, bro, kick-ass, man. Nicely done. Then we get to Shattered Dimensions, one of my favorite Spider-Man games, playing as 4 different Spideys from 4 different realities, facing all your iconic Spider-Man bosses in cool, unique ways. Just awesome. Then we get to Edge of Time. Now, Edge of Time is my least favorite Spider-Man game. However, now listen to me when I say this. Edge of Time is my least favorite Spider-Man game. I don't think it's the worst Spider-Man game, but for me personally, this might be my least favorite Spider-Man game. Then I get to The Amazing Spider-Man, a very solid movie tie-in Spider-Man game. Then I get to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, this is easily the worst game to ever displace our favorite web swinger and the Marvel brand. This game just, it sucks. Then I get to the best ones. Marvel Spider-Man, which is gold in my book, the ultimate Spidey experience. Then we get to the great follow-up, Miles Morales. This game proves that you don't need Peter Parker to make a great Spider-Man adventure. Then we get to the best Spider-Man game ever. Marvel Spider-Man 2 is a triumph. Insomniac just keeps getting better and better at making Spider-Man games. What can we say? It's that good. Okay, now the last few things are the comics. So let's do it. Ah, goddamn, my foot! Okay, guys, now the last few things are the Spider-Man comics that I have. And we have every Spider-Man comic in the perfect row. So enjoy this last part of the collection, which are the comics. So without further ado, let's start. Why is this mask so hard to breathe in? Sorry, I'm just having a blast talking to you guys. Sorry, let's get back to track. Okay, now we do the comics. So I have the original Spider-Man comic, Amazing Fantasy 15, Spider-Man's first appearance in the mainstream, and this book just knocked it out of the water. Steve Ditko and Stan Lee roll dice on a story about a teenage boy transforming into a superhero, and boy did they roll a hard 6. Okay, now the next Spider-Man comic that I have one of my favorites. It's a classic Spider-Man story, Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. This was the first appearance of the Sinister Six. It's a classic Spider-Man story where Spidey faces 6 of his greatest villains teamed up. It is just awesome. Then I get to the next Spider-Man comic, which is easily one of the best ones, one of the most iconic Spider-Man stories ever, If This Be My Destiny. I do not have to explain why this comic is awesome. This comic is incredible. Then I get to the next Spider-Man Epic Collection story that I have. This one has the Green Goblin Unmasked, the issue of Mary Jane, and Spider-Man No More, which are all one of my favorite Spider-Man stories. Then I get to the Amazing Spider-Man, The Death of Captain Stacy, one of the more emotional stories in the series. And then I have my second favorite Spider-Man story, The Death of Gwen Stacy. This is easily the most tragic Spider-Man story ever, but for me, it's easily the most iconic comic in the Spider-Man universe. Then I get to one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, a classic Spider-Man story, The Kid Who Collects Spider-Man. Now, this is one of the most emotional and moving issues of the entire Spider-Man series. It's a great story. If you haven't read it, it's a fast read. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. It's worth your time. Then I get to the next Spider-Man comic, Origin of the Hobgoblin. Now, when this comic was announced, they were like, wait, there's a new Goblin Town, but the way they did it was genius. Then I have The Amazing Spider-Man, The Birth of Venom. This is the alien costume saga. I love it. And seeing Venom for the first time, Amazing Spider-Man 300, Return of Venom. Oh god, it was awesome! Then I get to one of my favorite Spider-Man stories, which is one of the more darker stories, The Amazing Spider-Man, The Death of Jean DeWolf. Yeah, this is one of the most darkest Spider-Man. It's basically a murder mystery story where Spider-Man faces a great villain known as the Sin Eater, trying to stop because he's a loony psycho killer. Man, this story is an epic murder mystery series. Then I get to one of my favorite Spider-Man stories again, Kraven's Last Hunt. One of the darkest Spider-Man stories, but easily one of the most well-written and mature Spider-Man stories I have ever read. Then I get to one of my favorite Spider-Man stories again, the Spectacular Spider-Man 200. This is one of the best Spider-Man stories ever, as Harry Osborn takes a heroic turn saving lives as the Green Goblin before he died in Peter's arms. And then I have the next comic, which is one of the best ones, of course, the classic Maximum Carnage, just epic. And then I have one of my favorite Spider-Man comics again, Spider-Man, The Return of the Sinister Six. If you haven't read this story, I highly recommend it. It's a great read. Please go read this comic. And then I have the infamous Clone Saga. Now, I'm personally not a fan of the Clone Saga at that point because it just kept going back and forth. Like, who's the real Spider-Man? Who's the real Peter Parker? It just kept going back and forth, but it was still a fun read because it's still Spider-Man. Then I get to one of the most darkest Spider-Man stories ever, Spider-Man Back in Black. One of the darkest Spider-Man stories ever, but easily one of the best because it's so freaking dark. Then I get to Spider-Man Brand New Day, which is a fresh start for him, which I love. This is new. This is great for new beginners. It's like a new start, basically, which is great. And then I have a very big crossover Spider-Man story. Of course, I am talking about Spider-Verse. I have Spider-Verse, and it's awesome. I can't hold it with one hand. I'm trying to. There we go. So yeah, I have Spider-Verse, which is one of the best Spider-Man stories ever. It's one of the most entertaining Spider-Man stories I ever read. It's very big though. It has like 500 pages. And then the last two that I have are, I have my favorite Spider-Man comic run, Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus number 1. This is my favorite Spider-Man story as it told a complete story for Spider-Man from life to death. And then I also have the new Spider-Man Miles Morales, and it's a great one. I wasn't really a Miles fan, but this comic made me a Miles fan. And that's it, guys. That was the collection. Yes, I know. Good God, look at the timer of this video. Wow, if you guys made it to the end, I want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yes, I'm the ultimate Spidey fan. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you all next time. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Peace out. Swift.